Alright, working the motor right here. So I got this valve cover all the way down now. I use my hot air gun here, set at 900 degrees. You heat up the cover enough and eventually the O-ring will go up in there, the rubber. And then eventually the cover gun all the way up. It was about a 1/4 inch away when I got it all the way tightened here. And I just keep heating it up until eventually the valve spring tension just pulls it on up in there. The other thing when I was heating it up, I noticed I had an oil leak here on my workbench. So I had to figure out where the oil was coming from. See, that's a brand new motor. And it's got sealed main shaft in there. Excuse me. And the drain plug's in here. And the case doesn't appear to be leaking. This is dry here, so there's nothing coming out of the case. So, looking on this side, don't see anything leaking off the cam cover here. And then I look at the oil pump, it's coming out of the oil fitting right there. So I went and got the Colony oil plug that goes on here. And we'll put that on the motor. So that means that I have more oil in the crankcase over there than the height of the gears here. So that's why it's leaking out of that spot. Of course, now we know that the oil pump is well primed, or at least the scavenge pump is. Let's see, it's 9/16, 5/8. Hey, what a guess. It's kind of pretty good there. That's enough. Alright, so that should stop the oil leakage. So these absorbent towels work pretty good for soaking up the oil. So there you go. Alright, I'll be back. I got a little cleaning to do. Okay, I got our mess all cleaned up. Wipe that off though, but looks like I got most of it already the first time. So make sure it's dry. That means no oil on my fingers when I touch it. That's always your test. Wipe everything off super clean. Run your hand over everything. If you don't get no oil on your hand, next time you go by over it, you should not have oil on your hand again. If you do, it still leaks. That's also how you find leaks. Also, so there you go. Alright, so we got all 3 of these are down. One's up. This is the one that would not move. Every time I wedged it down, it would just pull the cover down with it. So see, now I got to come down an inch. I don't have a valve spring compressor. The valve spring don't have an inch of travel in it. Plus, it gets really, really stiff. These things are probably about 220 pounds all the way open, so they're pretty heavy. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my hot air gun. See, it even says warning, don't breathe it. So this is an industrial gun. Works pretty good. It'll heat this cover up and burn your hands if you touch it, so it'll get plenty hot. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on and do it. Now, one thing I can do to get more tension on this is I can put the valve up. I didn't do that on the other one, but we can go ahead and do that right now. Look at that valve lift we got. Yep, I went the wrong direction. There we go. We're in the firing stroke. It's firing. Boom. Now the intake's going to open. We're going back in case you didn't know. Okay, we're going to put the lifter all the way up. That means when the valve's all the way up, the lifter's all the way up. That's how that works. Okay, there's top dead center for the valve. So now, when we go to compress this, we're going to have a lot of tension on this. So initially it'll help get it down, and once I get down a little bit further, I'll close the valve, and that'll give me that much more. I can pull it down. So we're going to play with this a little bit, see how long it takes to do this one. Might take a little while. These things can get interesting. Of course, I'm not holding this thing. I haven't clamped it down on the bench yet. That'd make it too easy. So we're using our boards here, which are getting worn away, as you can tell. So I think these are a one-time application. And these are made out of oak, so they're pretty stiff, so you can see how it wears the board away with the amount of pressure I'm putting on this. So maybe next time instead of wood, maybe we'll use a heavy nylon or something like that, maybe. Don't know. Is nylon stronger than good old wood? Don't know. Will it do more damage? That's the other thing. We don't want to strip the coating. Alright, so Let's get this thing going, see what happens. First, you see how cold it is. I could put a hot air gun, a hot heat gun on there. Or a heat gun, it wouldn't be hot. See how much temperature I get, but that's what burnt fingers are for. This will probably take a few minutes, so fast forward if you don't want to watch it. It's like letting grass grow. Ooh, that's hot. That side's warm. Smell it getting hot now. It's warm. Cool down a little bit, but it's still hot. Okay, let's see if it'll go down. Oh, it moved. There we go. I tore the board up pretty good. Alright. That wouldn't move before. That's a good sign. Okay. Valve is closed. Now I'm going to use leverage to hold it down and rotate it to hopefully get down the rest of the way. So we're going to stick a shim in here. Okay, it's on it. We got pressure on it. We're rotating it. Hopefully we'll catch a thread. Oh, went down further. It's a good sign. When it dropped further, that means it went into the thread. So now we start turning it. Should actually be doing something. Get started. Ooh, definitely getting hot too. Working too hard. Ah, that happens. Whew. Storm's coming in, that's why you're hearing that door rattle. Scooby ain't happy either. Yep, looks like it's going down. Yep, definitely going down. I trim this wrench so you can get a fair amount of turning to it. Get a 90-degree turn on the cover. Can't do that on a stock one. Okay, now we're all the way down. Just a quick jerk to tighten it. Now that'll be good enough. Now later on you take a wrench, go like this with it tightened all the way, but these will have to come back up again, so that's enough torque for what we need now. Okay, now let's see if the valve spring stayed up. Cover stayed up. On this one it looked like it went all the way up and stayed up, which is good. Ooh, damn, that's hot still. Because on this one here it pulled it down about this far. I had to keep heating it up until it slowly went back up. So I had enough heat on this. It still is just hot enough you don't want to hold on to it. And I got thick skin too. Yeah, it's definitely warm. Alright, so that went down fairly easy. But that's the only way to get those to go down. Now if you use those James seals that don't work very well, they would have run down nice and easy. Of course they probably would leak too, so there you go. Alright, I'm going to put this stuff away. We'll be back.